Obviously, when I'm teaching you guys live, I'm not checking my email, but I do have my phone right in front of me the whole time. So I don't think we're going to use Google Meet after today. Apparently, that's what that meeting is going to be about today. I'm going to send some kind of announcement over Google Classroom, and I'll send it through Parent Portal and Student Portal as well, so that you guys know how you're going to get to our Google Meet tomorrow. But I'm assuming we're going to do something with the chat box, whatever it is they're going to have us switch over to. So you can always ask questions in the chat box when we're doing those live sessions. But if you don't feel comfortable asking a question out in front of people, you're worried you might mess up the private chat, you can always send me a text message, and my phone is right here in front of me the whole time. So this email address and phone number are two things that I really want you to keep, and please feel free to use it literally anytime you need to. I'm super available. And that's the big thing I want to tell you about today, is that if you haven't gotten a chance to look at my introductory video, I just want you to know that I specifically decided to teach math because I had a really hard time with it, and frankly, my teachers were not fantastic. And I specifically decided that I wanted to teach math so that I could help kids have a better experience than I had when I was in school taking math classes. So please know that my heart is to make sure that you are as successful as possible. If you need extra help, it is nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be scared to ask for, because I was literally in your shoes when I was a freshman too. I also taught middle school. I will kind of fast forward a little bit here to show you. So I've been teaching for 15 years. But this is only my fourth year at Ballard, and that is because I taught middle school for 11 years before coming to high school. So something else that I really, really, really know is how hard it is and how hard it can be to make that transition from middle school to high school. And I know, that can be tough. And so please know that I'm here to support you 100%. It's really important to me to get to know about you guys, which is going to be a little bit harder, I know, online. But and I guarantee you I'm probably going to mess up some things, but I'm going to do the absolute best I can. And, I'm welcome. This is the first time I've ever taught online high school. So if you guys have suggestions or, stuff that just doesn't, it makes sense to me, but it's not really making a lot of sense to you, please know that I am happy for you to ask questions or make suggestions. I've got my own daughter that's starting the 9th grade online too, and I would want her teacher to do as much as she can to make her feel comfortable, and I want to do the same thing for you. So please keep all of that in mind as we start this school year. And actually, you could just see, I'll show you really quick, because my kids are probably going to be popping in a lot. So real quick, just so you can see who my adorable little children are. So my husband, Raymond, is right down there at the bottom. And Alex and Adra and Emma are my 3 kids that have no sense of personal space, so they will probably be popping in and out like they already did at the beginning, like my daughter already did at the beginning of class a minute ago. So that's just a little brief stuff about me. And for the sake of keeping this introductory meet short today, I am going to jump right to how's the Google Classroom laid out, what can you expect for class when we meet again on Friday. And then I'll leave it open for you to ask any questions that you might have, should you have them. So if you don't already have Google Classroom open, it would be a good idea for you to do that now, please. And I am getting ready to share my Google Classroom with you too, so that you can see. So you can see the way, let me start with the stream. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, so first of all, the stream, oh no. Oh, I didn't cancel. Oops. Oh, see, I knew this was going to happen. There's confusion about the Zoom. I'll answer those kids' questions. I'm recording what we're doing, so never mind. I'll go back to that a little bit later. I know there's some confusion about us having to, change and cancel. Sorry guys, in case you can't tell, I have severe ADHD and it's really easy for me to get off track because I look at them like, I promise I'm going to try to do the best I can. So on the stream, you can see I'm always going to have a copy of the weekly schedule up here at the top. I know it can be confusing not having the same classes every day, but so that is there for you in order to be able to keep track of what class you have when. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to actually meet live on Friday, but there will be up here, and like I said, I'm going to message it out as well. The joining information that's typically here isn't going to be here in the future, but I'll let you know like where that's going to be. Most of the action on Google Classroom is going to be right here in the classwork tab. So that is where I'm going to go now. And I organize the classwork according to weeks. So the reason that I have actually 2 weeks, you can see I've August the 26th to September the 11th. Since we're having class every other day, I thought it might be good to show you what you were going to have to do for the next couple of weeks instead of just 1 week at a time because we only have a couple of days. And my students in the spring told me that one thing they really liked about NTI was that they got to see a week in advance kind of like what they were going to have due. So this right here, the assignment checklist, can help you to stay organized and let you know of everything you're going to have due for the next couple of weeks, as well as those deadlines. So I'm going to click and I'm going to open that up for you. And there's a few things that are in this check sheet. So first of all, you see all the different ways that you can get a hold of me. So there's my email. You can always add a comment to any Google Classroom assignment. Those notifications do go straight to my phone, so I get them right away. There's a calendar for you to actually sign up for extra one-on-one appointments, which we'll talk more about on Friday. Or you can always text me, and that obviously goes to my number right away. So what would be great is for the next couple weeks, anytime you use one of these options to contact me, if you would put a check mark next to that. It kind of helps me too, just like I said, I got way ADHD, so I really have to be hyper organized in order to keep myself from being a hot mess. So that way you can actually see, you can keep track of all the different ways that you can contact me. So that's the first part, is where you can see like how you can contact me. And then all of your different assignments that are due are in order according to due date. So it makes it kind of a handy little checklist for you to be able to keep up with that. So for example, your very first assignment that will be due on Friday before our next live meeting, whatever format that's going to be, is the live class entrance ticket number 1, which I will talk to you about in just a minute what that means. So what I would do if I were you is, so you go in, put in your email, last name, first name, and period. And then every single time you click submit, so let's say you started the live class entrance ticket, but you didn't get finished yet, all you have to do to save your place on this checklist is click submit. And it automatically saves everything that you checked off to this point. So that when I want to go back later, like let's say now I'm ready to work on my checklist again, all you have to do is go back to Google Classroom, go back to assignment checklist, and it's going to say you've already responded because you did already go through and start some of it, right? So you're going to click this button right here that says edit your response. And then you'll always be able to go back in and pick up where you left off. And you can keep on checking as you work through the different assignments. It helps you stay organized. It helps me stay organized. This does go towards your engagement grade, which if you have gotten a chance to look at our syllabus, if you haven't yet, that's okay. But if you have, you'll know that engagement this time around, the way your grading is going to work, it'll be 50% quizzes and projects. The other half is assessments. But engagement, so stuff like, did you show up for the meets? Did you do your homework? Are you taking advantage of this checklist? All of those things that fall under engagement actually will raise your grade. So as long as you're putting in that engagement, that will help lift up any quiz and test grades. So don't panic. As long as you're doing the right thing and you're doing your part grade-wise, you're going to be okay. So that's how you can keep track of all the assignments that you have due. So let's talk also about how this is organized. So under classwork tab and under this week, you're going to notice that there are a couple of different emojis. If it is a computer screen, that is something that we're going to do in class. So if you see something posted ahead of time, you don't need to send me a message saying, I read the directions, but I don't get it. That is something that we are going to do in class. So it might not be clear to you when you first start it. Like, you might have some questions, but that's all right. Don't worry about it until we actually do the in-class session. My goal was for us to do that today as a group, which is why we'll start off every class period with a starter. It's just a way for me to check in, kind of see where your head's at, all that good stuff. We're not going to do it today because, again, we're trying to keep the meet as short as possible today due to some of our issues. But just know that when you come in on Friday, there will be something that says Algebra 1 Daily Starter, and it'll have Friday's date. You'll go there first thing. That's something we do automatically at the beginning of the live class. And again, that's why it's got the computer screen next to it. So the other emoji is the little notebooks. So anything that has a notebook emoji next to it is something that you are expected to do on your own time that goes towards engagement grades. Sorry, there's something weird happening out in my driveway right now. Some guy's like going through my trash. That's weird. Okay, I'm just gonna have to ignore that for a minute. Sorry, guys. Okay, so lost my train of thought. As you can see, So that assignment checklist that I already talked about, that has a notebook next to it, because that's something that I'm expecting for you to do on your, own time outside of class. So on Friday, we'll start with the daily starter. Your classwork will be posted that we're going to work on as a whole group. And let's talk about what your homework assignment is going to be. So the homework is going to be probably a little bit different for this class than it'll be for a lot of classes. I asked my students last spring about some of the things that they really liked and then didn't like about NTI. And one of the things they really wished that we could have done was spent more time giving students the chance to, had more class time to actually ask questions and get more one-on-one help. So that is my goal for this year, is to try to change things up a little bit. I hope that I'm going to like this idea. Who knows? It might end up being a train wreck and I'll have to try something different. But for now, this is my plan. So your homework is not going to be what you're used to, which is typically practice for most math classes. Your homework is actually going to be taking the notes in advance, because I feel like when we've got the time when we're all together live, you can do the notes part on your own time. And so again, for two reasons I do that. First of all, you're not going to need somebody to help you with taking the notes because you're literally just watching a video and taking notes. So you won't need extra help aside from, if you have one of those lovely tech issues we've been having, but hopefully you won't have those. But aside from some technology issue, you shouldn't have a problem just taking notes, on your own time. So the idea is that you're going to click on this entrance ticket. It is a Google form, so it should work on any device. I use a lot of forms because they work really well on just about every device. So you'll put in your typical information with your name, what period we're in, And then you'll notice the next thing is a YouTube video that I've made that is our notes over the topic that we're going to practice on Friday. And our first topic is mean, median, mode, and range. I know this is an accelerated class, so if you're sitting at home right now like, oh my gosh, I did that in, 6th grade, I get it. You might just need a slight memory jog, checking the video real quick, or you might need to, you might already remember how to do it. Great. On Friday, I really want to focus most of our time on using the software that we're going to use to do classwork. So I didn't want you stressed out about not knowing the new content yet and trying to figure out how to use the computer at the same time. So we are starting off with something a little bit on the easier side. So the expectation for homework is that you view the video. Again, it works on any device because it is a YouTube video. Hopefully you're going in here and you're checking the word yes, that you did take notes. The next step, if you did take notes, please upload a copy here. So I am not going to be too picky right now. If you already have a note system that works for you, if you already are used to, like, you have a particular notebook set up or binder set up that works for you, I'm not going to require you to do it my way like, some teachers do. Now, if you start struggling after the first, couple weeks and it's obvious that we need a better system to keep you organized, I will be glad to help you work with that. But for now, I'm not going to tell you how you need to take notes, but I am going to hold you accountable, and this will go towards your engagement grade to show me that you actually took the notes, okay? Because believe it or not, I just can't believe it. Sometimes kids just don't do the notes, okay? So you're going to click yes if you did watch it, and then like I said, you're going to upload a copy of your notes here. So you're going to click add file. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. If you have a device where you can upload a picture, from your, if you have something that has a camera on it, you can just upload it straight that way. The app is super easy to do that. If you have a camera on your Chromebook, I can work with you to show you how you can, my kids and I have been playing around with it. It's pretty easy. It's a little awkward at first figuring out how to take the picture, but it works. If you just want to type your notes, like I know some kids prefer to do, you can just upload a copy straight of those typed notes. I'm not going to spend time today showing you how to add a file, because I know most of you guys know how to do that, how to upload a picture. If you do not know that, don't worry, stay tuned. I'm going to talk to you about how I'll help you with that a little bit later. Now, ideally, if you don't do the notes, especially as we move farther into the year, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, you're going to miss out on those homework points. And then secondly, what's going to happen when you get to our live meet where we're doing the practice over that topic? You're obviously going to have a harder time, right? So it is definitely to your advantage, my advantage, everybody's advantage, for you to do these entrance tickets before the meet that we have that covers the topic. I understand that occasionally life does get in the way. I understand that. So, I don't want you to not fill this out just because you didn't have a chance to watch the video. So there might be a time where you click no, you didn't get a chance to watch the notes, and I need a reason why. So you'll see right here, I'm asking you to tell me why. And you will still get some engagement credit for at least doing the entrance ticket. Obviously not the same as you actually did the notes, but, I understand that life gets in the way. Please don't not fill this out just because you didn't get a chance to do that. After you upload the notes, there is 4 little questions, and that's how every entrance ticket is. There's a couple of questions that if you took the notes, if you understand what you're doing, you should have a pretty good idea of how to answer these questions. But don't worry if you miss a question, it's not a big deal. That is more like an exit ticket for me to see what kind of shape we're in and how ready we are for our live class session on Friday. So the idea is that every live class period is nothing but practice because you've done the work. We'll do a little, we'll all get together for a minute. I might remind you for a second about how to do it. And then the whole rest of the class is just going to be time for you to ask me questions, ask each other questions, get your work checked. If you get it all finished before the hour is up, great, bye. You don't have to stay for the whole time. If you're like me and you're one of those people that really ask a lot of questions, and you can stay for the whole hour, of course, and because there's a lot of time there, it does give me a chance to kind of get with you guys more one-on-one. And so I'm hoping that will be a good system. Like I said, this is the first time I've done it. I'm really hoping it'll work, but there's a chance we may need to make some changes, but I'm kind of excited about the idea of us being able to pull this off. So on Friday, I will explain to you more about, we'll walk through the software, how we do the classwork. So even if you're sitting here like, oh my gosh, I already know how to do this, please show up, because aside from the fact that you'll get the points for showing up, you need to know how to use the software that we'll be using for the classwork. So that is really super important as well. So as I mentioned, I am not 100% sure how you guys are going to join your meet. I usually like to be a lot more organized than this. I'm not sure exactly how we are going to meet as a class on Friday. I will be sending a message out, so please, stay posted, keep an eye out for that, because I will let you know exactly how we will join our class on Friday. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This has been a little stressful the first couple of days, for sure, that we've had some hiccups, but be patient with me. I'm really going to be patient with you guys too, and I know that we are going to, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be weird, I get that, but it's going to be a good year. The only other thing that I think that pretty much covers what we need to do to get our bases covered for, if you don't know how to upload a photo with the device that you've got, if you are having a hard time logging into something, you can see that on our schedule right here on Friday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon, there's a support session. And I am going to put a meeting link up as soon as I figure out exactly how we're going to meet. I'm going to put that up, and that will be a tech support session. So if you're having a hard time with anything technology related, please don't panic. I know things go wrong. Believe me, these last couple days have proven to me that it's not going to be perfect. Please don't worry about that. So if you, for example, do your exit ticket, but you're having a hard time figuring out how to upload a picture, we can take care of that on Friday. If that time doesn't work for you, please make sure that you just reach out to me via email or on my text message. And again, that information is here, and it's also on, the best way to get to it is with that weekly checklist. And I'm really excited about this very weird year. I'm going to